Welcome back to Fight News Now. It's time for 3 rounds with our Fight Network analysts John Randian and Robin Black. And we've got the weekend off before the UFC comes back with 2 shows and 4 nights. Leandro Mafra is back.
The thing is, yes, we're exhausted. There's mixed martial arts, it seems, every single week. But this Wednesday, one of the most exciting fighters in all of mixed martial arts will be in action. The Cowboy, Donald Cerrone, taking on the rugged Jim Miller. All the action going down at the Revel Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You want a main event? That's a main event.
Yeah, I am down. Put me down for one of them. Man, I love the way these 2 guys match up. They're both fascinating fighters and fascinating kind of characters and human beings as well. This fight would have been great 6 years ago. Yep. You would have had Donald Cerrone, who has phenomenal kickboxing and was great off his back with submissions, wasn't much of a wrestler. You had Jim Miller, who was a pretty decent boxer, wasn't quite as fancy as Donald Cerrone. But both guys obviously evolved. We're in modern MMA, everybody's good at everything. But those roots are still there. Where you come from, what shapes you is still there. Donald Cerrone, killer kickboxing game, and he's going to be looking to light up Jim Miller. But Jim Miller, I think, is going to look to put him on the fence, wrestle him, grind him, smash him up a little bit. That's what Jim Miller does. He does it very, very well. I think he's also going to have been working on catching the kicks, because Cerrone's been loving kicks lately, catching the kicks, trapping them, putting them on the ground.
Obviously, Donald Cerrone's going to have the reach advantage in this fight. He knows what gets bonuses, the stand-up game or the submission finish gets bonuses, and Donald Cerrone loves the bonuses. You have to imagine that he's going to use his kickboxing skills.
They also aesthetically look very different. It's going to be a really cool one to see. And if it was just a great matchup between 2 cool fighters, we're always down for that. But it is meaningful. They're both on win streaks. Cerrone, if he can get past Miller, Cerrone is in the talk for sure at lightweight because he's so exciting.
What is unfortunate, though, Donald Cerrone, we all know that he likes making money. And when you look at the entire 155-pound title picture, yes, Donald Cerrone fits in there nicely. But the fact is that Anthony Pettis is going to fight Gilbert Melendez, who knows when. That's obviously towards the end of the year. Yeah. And then Donald Cerrone is not going to be waiting on the sidelines while those guys go through the Ultimate Fighter show and then, have their tussle. The fact is he's probably going to have 1, if not 2 more fights by the time that fight happens, and, anything can happen.
He's got speedboats to pay for, man. This guy will fight anybody, anytime. He is fascinating. We'd love to watch him fight. We love his physicality, the way he moves. But mentally, he's interesting. And his coach has talked about that, Greg Jackson, is he's one of these guys who, in reality, is scared to walk down there and fight. You know why? Because he's a normal person. But he deals with it. He finds the tools to deal with that fear, use it appropriately, and win fights. I'm a big fan.
Edson Barboza taking on Evan Dunham, and we talked about before, a fight that could rival the main event for Fight of the Night. Edson Barboza, his last loss coming at the hands of Donald Cerrone. I'm sure he does not want that to happen against Evan Dunham. He's going to be very, very aggressive in this fight, and I expect him to look for the early finish.
Evan Dunham, speaking of talking about what guys were in their timeline of development, Evan Dunham was a skilled guy everywhere. He was one of these guys, when people went into Extreme Couture and came out, they're like, man, this guy's good at everything. This guy's a technician. He's a tactician. Now he's just a lunatic. He walks into the pocket and he earns his money bloodying up the other guy and getting his face smashed in, and he wants to land 1 more than you land. Why? Because he's figured out that this is an entertainment sport. He's found passion in going in and fighting this way. It excites him. It excites everybody else around him. And at the root, he still has those skills. I think Barbosa's going to have to look to move, kick from the outside, stay out of that pocket with the lunatic. It's another great one.
Alp Osklich takes on John Lineker. John Lineker, a youngster at 125 pounds. But I have a feeling this is going to be Fight of the Night. Yes, everybody thinks that John Lineker is going to be the future in the flyweight division, but the Turkish Delight, watch out.
Everybody might get bonused on this card.
It's going to be a great show, I promise.
Well, let's hope John Lineker hasn't been dining on any Turkish Delight when he steps onto the weight scale. Thank you, guys, and if you want an additional couple of rounds with Randian and Robin, be sure to check out 5 rounds each and every Monday at 7 Eastern. We'll take a timeout, and on the other side, it's a look at the dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then it's viral video time as Fight News Now continues.